Hey guys, today we're going to talk about key-to-like locks, specifically ABIS key-to-like locks. And one of the things when you get an electric bike, a lot of times you want to add multiple locks or add additional locks to your bike, but you don't want to be stuck in a situation where you have like 5 or 6 different keys. So ABIS makes it a lot easier that you can get several locks with the same key as your bike. So they have different locks for different systems. Most of the time, specifically when we're talking about this system, if you're talking about an e-bike, you might have the plus lock. The plus lock actually is going to look something like this. So this is a plus key. This is actually a plus cylinder. This is specifically for a Bosch power tube battery. And if you look on the back of this, you have this code here. This code is unique to this specific lock, and if you use these numbers, you can get an additional lock with the same key. Like for example, this lock here. Now this lock is also a plus lock, and now this has a different code on it, but you can get this key made in Germany with the same key as your bike. Or alternatively, say for example, your bike didn't have an ABIS lock on it, and it's a Bosch system or Shimano or potentially Bros. If it used as the same type of cylinder, you can say, okay, I'm gonna get a couple of locks and a lock cylinder that's specific for my bike. So today we're gonna be just talking about how that system works, how you can take that key number that you have and order additional locks from Germany so you can have multiple locks with that same key number. And it's really convenient because you can have one key, really to infinite number of locks. Like for example, in our shop in Brooklyn, we often lock bikes up outside, so we'll have several locks with the same key. It makes it really easy for managing the shop. Or say, we have many customers that have multiple bikes in their garage and they want to, have the same keys on all their bikes, that sort of thing. All these things are possible. Some locks in the bike are easier to swap out than others, but all this is really a possibility. So as I was talking about plus locks, this is their standard level lock that you can use with this key-to-like system. I'll show you what the packaging looks like actually. So this is an ABIS Plus, you see plus here, so granite. The granite is the U-lock version, 640 is the version of the lock. This particular version is the 6-inch model, and then you can see the security level. This is 12 out of 15. Plus is generally going to be somewhere in that range of 12 out of 15. X Plus, which is an upgrade from that, is going to be 15 out of 15. And then they have one step above that, which is the extreme version, which is 20 out of 20. Not really a bicycle lock, it's actually more of a motorcycle lock. But you can see this one, for example, this packaging here, you can see it says 15 out of 15. That's their top security level for bicycle specific locks. So that's something to consider. So in all these different systems, you have multiple different locks that you can utilize. You have U-locks, which is a U-lock, and you have different versions. So this is a plus U-lock. This is an X plus U-lock, and you might notice the U part of it is a different size. So this is a 9-inch U-lock. This is a 6-inch U-lock. It's also available in an 11-inch U-lock, so quite a bit longer. And there might be different applications why you want to choose a U-lock over, say, something like a chain lock, for example. I can show you what the chain locks look like. So this is one version of a chain lock. This is actually one of the longer chain locks. This is 110 centimeters, goes up to 140 centimeters. This particular one is a plus one. And actually, one of the key things I should have mentioned this before, if you look at the key number on here, there's 6 digits. This is a plus key. If you wanted to look at, say for example, a X plus key, you can see here, there's 7 digits and the first digit is just an X. So that's really the only difference. So if you have the X in the beginning, you got an X plus key. If you don't have the X in the beginning and you have 6 digits, you have a plus key. Now, speaking specifically with ABIS, however, there are some keys that are not plus or X plus. This is one that's common for e-bikes. It's called the T82, and there's only 4 digits on the key. So this is actually the key card that it comes with. as you see here, it's says T82, that's the model of the key, and then 4500, that's the specific code for this key. So if ABIS has this code, they can create a new key. And I should mention that all these keys, you can get additional keys with that code from the ABIS website, or we can get them for you as well. But this specific key, unfortunately, if you do have this on your bike, you can't get this key to like. So you can't get another lock with the T82 version key to it. You might find that your bike might have come with 2 locks on it, or came with 2 battery locks and in addition a frame lock or a folding lock, but and they might be T82 version, but you can't get additional locks just because of the way that they make them. They make them in much larger quantities. The Plus ones and the X Plus ones, they make them in a specific factory in Germany, and they're not able to replicate these ones. So it might be possible to change the lock cylinder of your battery so that you can make your lock key to like, but it's not always possible because certain designs will only allow for the use of this style key, the T82. Like for example, we have some cargo bikes that the only rear frame lock, when I'm talking about frame lock, I mean this is a frame lock or a cafe lock. Some frame locks or cafe locks are only available in this much larger width to accommodate a larger tire with that T82 key. This particular one's a Plus one. This is one of the larger frame locks that it can accommodate a larger tire. And this is the sort of thing that many times we will swap out if somebody wanted to do all Plus locks on there. So yeah, this is a frame lock. I showed you the U-locks, I showed you the chain, and then these are folding locks. So this is what's called a Bordeaux X Plus. This particular version is the Bordeaux X Plus 6500. There's actually a special version of this lock called the 6405. The 6405 is an X Plus lock with a Plus cylinder. That lock was made specifically for people that want to do a key to like version. They want the higher security or the thicker shanks of the X Plus lock, but they want to be able to key it like to their battery, and that's the X Plus. This is also an X Plus. This is not available in a Plus cylinder, but this is the X Plus Big. And if you notice, these are longer. So that's the main difference between these two locks. And if you see, for example, this is the X Plus Big. The standard X Plus, it's just a different length. The one thing I also want to mention in relation to folding locks is we do have this available. It's an alarm lock. So this is called the ABIS Bordeaux Alarm. This is a big version. It's a little bit longer than the standard version. If you arm it, it will pick up any motion and basically give an audible warning. And if the lock keeps moving after that, it will go into the alarm mode and it won't stop until it's unlocked. So it's a good way to ward off thieves and that sort of thing. And one of the reasons why I find that this program is pretty popular for e-bikes specifically is a lot of times you have an e-bike, they could tend to be expensive. So you might end up wanting to have multiple locks for your bike, and the idea of having different keys for all these different locks on your bike is kind of challenging. So just being patient and ordering the locks from Germany, it might be a good way to go. There is a slight upcharge to the locks. There's 15% surcharge, which covers the shipping and the custom development of that lock specifically, but I think it's well worth it. So ultimately, we found this program has gotten quite popular as people start to learn more about it. We found this program is becoming more and more popular as more and more bikes are coming with ABIS locks, and people are recognizing how helpful this system can be. So ultimately, what we ended up doing is we added a page to our website where you can order these locks. And all you need to do is enter in your key number. If you enter in an X Plus key, it's going to give you all the X Plus lock options. If you enter a Plus lock key, it's going to give you all the Plus lock options. And if you wanted to order locks and you don't already have a key, but you just want several locks with the same key, you can just do that as well. If you just enter a random number like 6 zeros or X and 6 zeros, then we'll know that that's not specifically the code that you're requesting, that it's just, so you can see the instructions on the website there. A couple of last notes I want to mention in relation to this. It's usually about 2 to 3 weeks for us to get the lock from Germany, so just be mindful of that. Once you order the lock, there's going to be a bit of a lead time there. You can't get a plus lock with the X plus cylinder, with that one exception, as I mentioned before, that Bordeaux, traditionally X plus, it's a 6405. You can't get a X plus lock key to a plus cylinder and vice versa, so it's important to be mindful of that you can't cross those. And then the one other thing, I mentioned this lock before, the Extreme, it's specifically a motorcycle lock. Now that lock has a specific key. It's not actually a traditional X plus key, so you can't get a X plus keyed lock keyed to a Extreme lock. There's only 2 locks that are really available in that way. It's a chain and a U lock, so if you wanted, you can get those keyed together, but you can't get an X plus lock keyed in that same way. Some other things, I know that in Germany people say Abus, but I don't say it that way, so if you want to judge me because of that, that's okay. Feel free to leave a comment to explain how to say Abus. At some point I might make a video about all the different pronunciations of German names and how I say them and how some people say that I say them wrong, but I don't know. It's all fun. I hope that you guys still find the video to be useful. And if you check out the webpage, you can see all the different variations of the locks which are available. If you have questions about the locks and the different mounting systems, etc., leave them in the comments below, or just reach out to us, and always happy to help. And I look forward to seeing you in the future. All right, well, see you soon.